Motion passes unanimous. Please rise if you can for a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, so our first presentation is a FERDAP grant for Freddie Warmack, followed by a FERDAP grant presentation on Lois Ford Park. This does feel a little wonky. The FERDAP grants have to be heard by an advisory board, so to the commission, so that's what we're going to do. However, it's really only for citizen input, so if any of the planning and zoning board members have to comment, they will actually be doing that as a citizen, and if they have a question, just identify yourself as a citizen, and you can speak into the mic. It'll probably move us along a little bit quicker and not have to get up and down to the podium or anything. Who's going to be doing our presentation? Oh, come on, Gene. Come on down. We have a PowerPoint or anything on the screen here?
No, I'm looking for the turn
Jesus.
I didn't tell that was a spark.
Just pull that down towards you.
Okay.
We don't have anything on the screen? No? Okay.
No, it's just the map in your packet.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
The city has the opportunity of applying for a FERDAP grant up to $200,000 to place amenities into parks or refurbish amenities. So what the city has done is, in order to meet the grant's requirements, you have to be able to present information at different forums to try to capture as many residents as possible. So that is the intent of the application, allowing the information to be presented to an advisory board, and in our case, the only one is the Planning and Zoning Advisory Board, which is fine. So the only information that's going to be given is the actual amenities. The intent is for the public to discuss the actual amenities. So if you look at your packet, the first one is Freddie Walmart Park, sorry.
Warmack.
Oh, I thought I said Warmack. I'm sorry. I apologize. So Freddie Warmack, dear Lord, help me, Jesus. Warmack Park.
Warmack, there you go.
The intent is to put picnic tables. The location is not exact because there's unknown variables such as irrigation or any utility infrastructure that would inhibit that location. But so far, these are the locations for the picnic tables. And you see the location for the pickleball courts. And the playground, it will be an accessible playground similar to the one that was built over at Easton Park. Thank you. So that concludes the presentation because we're just discussing the amenities. Does anybody or any citizen or resident or someone who wants to speak as a resident have any questions, concerns, comments?
Miss Kathy, you reaching?
Do I have to say something in particularly special to say this?
No, you're just speaking.
I'm a resident.
You're just speaking it as a citizen.
I'm speaking as a resident. Actually, I was wondering, we're just talking about the amenities right now, like picnic tables. Are you going to use the products that are weather resistant, like the picnic tables? I've noticed wood picnic tables like bow up or splinters or whatever. Are you guys going to be able to use like the waterproof materials? it's like, I don't even know what it's called, but it looks like plastic almost.
Yeah, it's like a polymer.
So are
It's
you
like
going to
a
be able to do
plastic.
that?
That would be further down the road as to the actual
Okay.
types. And I would probably, but he's not here right now, but he will be, Rod, the Parks Director, as well as the city manager and the finance director would have input based on budget restraints, what would be most cost effective. But absolutely, your comment about how wooden
Bows?
picnic tables, bows, that's important information. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all.
Okay.
I have a question as a resident.
Go ahead.
Is the up to $200,000 per park or in total for both parks?
In the late 1990s, I could apply for 3 applications. Now, they limited it to 2. So where the city is allowed to apply for 2 separate applications, 2 separate parks. To answer your question, absolutely, it's $200,000 for Freddie Womack, and $200,000 would be able to be applied to Lois Fort Park.
Okay. My only comment about putting the pickleball next to the basketball court as a resident is just the interplay. If somebody loses a ball out of bounds on either court, that maybe the co-location there back to back is maybe not the ideal, and maybe put it over here or something instead. I know there's probably a idea to try to maybe take advantage of the utilities there for lighting or something, but just kind of keep that in mind just from a feedback standpoint.
Absolutely, and that's important feedback as a resident because it lets our parks and the rest of staff understand concerns that sometimes we may not think of. Thank you.
Understood. All right, if there's no further ones, we can move on to Lois Fort Park. Seeing none, if you want to move to the second item then, Ms. Jane.
Okay. The second item is amenities at Lois Fort Park. The location is where the Public Works will be moving from that location any existing buildings in order to construct a skate park. And to take full advantage of the requirements in the grant application, we will be adding picnic tables. And again, the location is, for the picnic tables, is not set in stone. So are there any comments, discussions regarding this park?
I have one as a resident. So I do have some concerns with the skate park going in that area. Growing up with teenage guy friends that were skaters, while they will use that facility, I worry about them using other areas such as the Veterans Memorial as a place to also skate and grind their, skateboards and stuff on. I have another concern. In the past, we have served alcohol at Lois Fort, or I guess in some manner have handed out alcohol in that area. And is there any laws, rules, regulations for a skate park being that close, or an insurance risk if there's still to be alcohol served at the park during events?
I can only speak to the requirements of this specific application, but obviously the city would have regulations in utilizing alcoholic beverages, and we would probably fall back on that. But as far as the grant is concerned, that would not be a part of the amenity that we're trying to propose to put in there. So I would not be able to answer that fully. What I would have to let other staff more familiar with our ordinances and our policies to speak to that. As far as that particular location, and yes, there would be concerns of spilling over into the memorial. However, it depends on what type of skate park, how it's constructed, if there's going to be fencing, a lot of variables and things to deter that from happening. But as you know, teenagers are teenagers.
I have another comment as a citizen. With the skate park there, I do see the city yard being an attractive nuisance for kids, especially if they're hanging around waiting to be able to get into the park. If it's overused, you're going to have people waiting around. They're just going to be looking for something to do. So there's the attractive nuisance, which I think also speaks to the things with the Veterans Park. I know there are like brass like attachments that you can put onto a seat or onto something that has a lip like this. They have them in DC where it's like a hard brass almost element that it attaches so they can't grind down down the seat or whatever, because they hit that and it keeps them from doing that. So if this is going to be located here, I think we need to look into those enhancements at the Veterans to keep what Ms. Molina is talking about from happening. That's what I got. Ms. Polo?
I have a question as a citizen. Can you tell me why a skate park? Like, is this a particular grant for a skate park? Was this something that the community has asked for to have available to our youth? Or is this just to, I'm just trying to understand what the thought behind it is.
Yes, I cannot fully answer that because as far as the grant application goes, skate parks are becoming an attractive amenity amongst a lot of Florida parks. And there's teams and tournaments and et cetera that surrounds that particular amenity. So as far as the thought process of going into why did you think of a skate park, from what I understand, it was mentioned, I don't think in a formal, yes, sir?
I might be able to answer that
Yes,
question.
thank you.
So we've actually done 2 surveys in town where skate parks have beat out splash parks for because you have little kids all the way up to adults now skate. So skate park has been part of the conversation for quite some time at this point.
Still commenting as a citizen here. Thank you for that. I'm just, like, having gone to the skate park that's at Possum Creek Park in Gainesville, those
Impossible to park?
Possum Creek Park.
Possum Creek
in
Park.
Gainesville.
Okay.
Sometimes it is impossible to park. I mean, yes, for kids and kids at heart out there on their skateboards, I've watched many kids get just kind of mowed over. And I guess my question would be, is there something that the community might be able to put more use to, like a dog park or something like that?
It's a different workshop.
Sorry?
It's going to be a different workshop.
Oh.
But we are going to bring that question to you, just not
okay.
at this workshop.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
I have a question as a citizen. As someone who uses this park intensively with my daughter because we are fair-skinned and we burn, and it's a beautiful shaded park that we love, will there be any improvements to the existing play equipment and or undercoating? Because there is, especially where the slides come down, I don't even know if you want to call it the padding or the black part, maybe Marlo can answer this, but it's been torn up to where like it's a safety trip hazard. And if we're going to be bringing more people in here into that area because of added things, I would want to make sure that the existing equipment has either been upgraded or in some way safer for the kids to enjoy. Because there's a lot of areas over there, maybe breaking up the playgrounds and doing one further away or whatever, to where an inclusive park down at the end or something like that, or vice versa, so that all of the playground areas can be used, because it's a beautiful park. I love it. But that was one thing I was wondering if there's any breakdown for that amount.
The answer to resident Carrie's question is yes, but that's a different workshop. We are going to go after grants for all kinds of things, but right now we're just focused on this one.
This one is specifically
small, specific
okay.
piece, but everything you guys are talking about,
all right,
all in the plans, all in the works.
And my second question is,
as a resident
who is, cares about fiscal responsibility for this city, when you guys did the evaluation for the difference between a splash pad, which we've gotten a lot of requests on social media for, versus a skate park, what were the differences in insurability and risks to the city for liability?
I don't know that we've gone to the liability question. I know that the maintenance costs and the liability for a splash park is pretty high. I don't know about it for a skate park, but they're relatively in the same realm. Do you have an answer to that,
The only reason
Dallas?
I asked that is because they built one.
I don't want anybody to hear my words as we have not thought about that. It's always ever present. I just don't know that we've done the comparison.
If I know Dallas, he's looked at it.
Yeah.
So.
Resident Gary.
I'm sorry.
The way our insurance policy works is it's not that specific. We have an umbrella policy for everything, so it's purely based off property values, not likelihood of injury from a property and casualty standpoint.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking, because when I lived in Sioux Happy, California, skate parks, insurability-wise, you had to have a very big umbrella for the amount of activity that was accident-prone. Let's just say it that way.
We thankfully do have a very large umbrella, but we also have sovereign immunity, which caps our liability at $200,000 to $300,000. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you for explaining that as me as a resident.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say this because as a resident, I think that I'm not into skate parks at all, being my age and other people in here about same age. But I think it's a good start to address teenagers and older young adults. We don't have anything like that for older. I'm not even sure, young people, young adults. So I think it would be good in many ways. So that's my 2 cents.
As a resident, I think a skate park in town is a great idea. I just worry about location sometimes, but that's it. It's the safety, other things to ride on, how close is it to downtown, when downtown gets built up more, like all of those things come into play for me when we have places like Easton, which is big and open and lots of parking and space for something like that. That's all.
Okay. Well, we'll conclude the presentations on the FERDAP grants. Do any of the now board members have any other items that they wanted to discuss? Ms. Carey? Yes. Ms. Polo? Ms. Parker? No? Okay. We are adjourned.
All right.